Hello and welcome to the latest edition of the Chopping Block podcast. My name is Paddy Stapleton, and every week I sit down with a different guest for a chat about food. Some of my guests make their living within the food and drinks trade, while some just love food. I chat to someone new every week, exploring a little bit of their lives through food. Some of my guests you may have heard of before, some you definitely won't know, but what unites all these people are the stories they have to tell about the role food and drink plays in their lives. So sit back, put your feet up, maybe pour yourself a little glass of bubbles, and enjoy this episode of The Chopping Block. My guest this week started out her career in social care, but then she decided to change tack by making her living by combining her two favourite hobbies, food and photography. Her images have lit up my Instagram for a long time now, and even though you may not know it, you will recognise her work from the many magazines, brochures and advertising campaigns she has worked on. As a man who spends way too long trying to make his own food look half decent, I can seriously appreciate the effort and skill that she puts in to make every image look so amazing. Clare Wilkinson of A Moment in Thyme, welcome to the pod and thank you for sitting down with me.
Thanks, Paddy.
So every week we start with 20 either-or questions. These are just to help us learn a little bit about you. You can interpret them any way you want. You can do it from a photography point of view, or you can do it from according to what your tastes are. Hopefully by the end we'll have a little flavour of what those tastes are. Ready?
Ready.
Okay. Prosecco or cava?
Oh, Prosecco.
Dinner with friends or dinner with family?
Who's listening? I've had more dinners this year with my family, so I'm missing dinners with friends.
Oh yeah, that's
both are good.
That's a cheap way out. Fresh crab or fresh lobster?
Oh, stop! I'm really.
I did a bit of Insta stalking, so I've
you?
kind of tried to tailor these a
They're my
bit.
two faves, Paddy. Can't. Oh yeah, that was a really tough one. Okay, yeah, maybe lobster.
Okay.
And crab.
We'll go with wooden board or slate?
Wooden board.
Knife and fork or fingers?
Fingers.
Cherry or pomegranate?
Cherries. Fresh cherries, not the glacier ones.
Definitely not that.
No.
Red onion or white onion?
Red onion.
Chinese or Indian?
Indian.
Strawberries or raspberries?
Strawberries.
Muffin or croissant?
Oh. Croissant.
Jamie Oliver or Gordon Ramsay?
Oh. Neither.
If you had to pick one.
All right, okay. Jamie.
I was going to put in some of the cookbooks you've worked on there, but I didn't think you'd want to piss anybody off. Red, white or rosé?
Oh, white.
Fresh cream or buttercream?
Fresh cream.
Prawns or scallops?
Prawns.
Hot whiskey or hot port?
Oh. Port.
Cinnamon or cloves?
Cinnamon.
Pancakes or crepes?
Crepes.
Jelly or ice cream?
Ice cream.
Medium well or medium rare?
Rare.
Medium rare. Is it Jaffa cake a cake or is it a biscuit?
There, listen, Paddy. Can I just say, right? I don't care what technicality we have here, but if you asked me over to your house for a cup of tea and cake and gave me a Jaffa cake, I'd be very disappointed. But if you asked me over and said, would you like a cup of tea and a biscuit, and you came out with fancy biscuits like that, I'd be impressed.
So it's a biscuit.
It's a biscuit.
Good, I'm with you there. Very good. I did do a bit of Insta stalking before we sat down, and some of the things that you use a lot in your photographs, like cherries.
Do I?
Well, this is just me looking through them. You use about trips. Your crab or lobster I saw from your trips to Connemara. Yeah. And then I knew you were going to go for strawberries because you love strawberries.
Oh wow, Paddy, you're good at the old stalking.
It's a friendly stalking. It's not a weird stalking. So let's talk about your work as a food photographer and photographer and food stylist.
Yes.
Is that right?
Yeah.
How did you get into it? You worked in social care for a while.
Yeah, so that's what I trained in college, was social care, and worked in a homeless charity in Dublin in emergency shelters and supporting people to move out of homelessness. And I did that for a couple of years, but always a hobby was photography. It was been a hobby since I can remember, and cooking. And I'd take photos at the weekends and come home in the evening and just de-stress by cooking. And that was my de-stressor. Like, I was no good at, meditating or anything. It was just like, put me in front of a stove and I'll relax.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I obsessed then for a while about going to Ballymaloe. Like, saving money and going to Ballymaloe.
This was your holiday. This was your trip to New York shopping.
That's it. Yeah. I opened a credit union account and I started saving. And I think it was like a 6-year plan. And I lasted 2 years and said, "Feck this. I can't wait any longer. Let's get a loan." And I just went for it.
And was this with a view to working in food?
It was a view to working in food, although I knew I didn't really want to be a chef.
Yeah.
But maybe could see myself in catering, or at that point I didn't know. And I didn't really link at that point about food photography.
Yeah.
So it was like, do I go back to college and do photography, or do I go to 3 months in Ballymaloe and see how the cooking goes? Not go do both, Clare. At that point would have been really handy. But yeah, that's what.
And was Ballymaloe enjoyable?
Ballymaloe was like summer camp for adults. Like, I come from a complete burnout in work and so stressful, and a real eye-opening situation, to skipping down around fields.
Looking for mushrooms.
Yeah, picking salad leaves and baking bread. And I just remembered that people would get upset if their cake didn't rise, where I had this feeling of, oh well.
You'd come from something a little bit more stressful than worrying about cake. Yeah.
So it's like, oh, that recipe didn't work. Oh well, I'm just happy to be here and I didn't want to leave. And it really, really de-stressed me. And it also was the first time I was back on a farm since I was a kid, since I left my home.
Yeah.
And I realised, oh God, this is part of me. This is what I love. And you kind of, I forgot it. I was in the city for so long and travelling for so many years that it was like, oh, there's Clare.
Yeah.
Being creative.
So at the risk of saying, something a bit pretentious, you found yourself again.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because I hate when people say that, but sometimes it's appropriate.
Yeah. Well, you're saying it, so I don't
I sound bad now. So you were there for 3 months.
3 months. I stayed on for a bit longer and worked down there.
Oh, right.
Which then the rose tinted glasses faded away, because you're working away, and I was getting up at 6 a.m. cooking and I was baking breads and stuff. So yeah, it was like, really showed the eye-opening of how difficult it is to work in food and how much hard work it is.
Particularly in a kitchen.
Yeah, exactly. But I still didn't want to leave. But eventually I think I had to go.
And what did you do next? Did you go back to social care for a while, or did you?
No, next I decided to just, I did work in a bit of work experience catering here and there, but I decided to just go with this food idea I had and set up my own business.
Okay.
Because again, I was obsessing about it, and I was like, oh, I have this idea and I want to do it. I could kind of see at the time that veganness was getting really popular, and I was like, oh, I really hope people, whatever diet they have, whether it's diet restrictions or allergies, that you just eat yummy food. You don't have to eat crap versions of it. So I'd love to make a really yummy cake. So I made these gluten-free, dairy-free, vegan cakes, refined sugar-free, taking all the boxes, but making them yummy.
Yeah.
So this was the plan, and I worked away at that, but obviously working my butt off doing that, making no money. And then on the side, I started working on food shoots, because it was like, grand, I'll go in there and I can cook the food and that you're about to photograph.
Yeah.
And that'll be my side hustle where I go off then and do my cakes. And it just kind of, the balance went a bit like, right, you're working in the kitchen making all these cakes, making how much, Clare? You're going and having a great day with other people and not hidden away in a kitchen on your own. And you're loving the creative process.
Yeah.
The good thing on working on shoots like that, you give a lot of attention to one dish. You're not feeding the masses.
Yeah.
You give a lot of attention to that one dish and
to get it right.
Yeah, to get it right and everything perfect.
And you'll be paid for that perfection, is perfect.
Yeah, I was like, wow, and photography. Ding! Light bulb. Took a while to switch on.
And had you done courses in photography, or were you natural?
Yeah, well, no, you have, even if you've good eye, you still have a lot to learn.
Yeah.
Like, but yeah, I'd done loads of courses in photography over the years, and I was part of a camera club. So me and my dad's is a great photographer, and he loves taking photos. And my aunt's a great photographer. And one of my sisters went off and did photography in college, and my brother. So me and my brother went to a camera club. They'd set up workshops. We'd go there and do these workshops at different weekends, like go to Glendalough at 5 a.m, or like, you know.
So having the crack but learning at the same time.
Yeah, and like it was just, but I don't think I'd taken pictures of food on my camera, only on my iPhone. Like,
how long ago was this?
Well,
like had Instagram taken over when every man and his dog was taking pictures of their breakfast and their cornflakes?
Yeah, talking around. I've just been doing the photos for so long.
Yeah.
That I can't remember when the transition into, okay, I'll focus on food, because I love taking pictures of people and landscapes, and it was like, now I never take pictures of people.
But you were getting your food hit by taking pictures of food.
Yeah, exactly.
And again, I was stalking you on Instagram. I saw the picture you put up of the mandarin where you went through the whole process.
Oh yeah.
Fascinating.
That was during lockdown.
I kind of thought maybe it was. But to put that up for somebody like me, who, as I said in the intro, I try and take pictures of food, and sometimes it comes out okay. I mean, and then I look at your page and it's like, yeah, my food looks crap. But to see the process that you went through and the little changes and the perfection, I suppose, you're aiming for by moving this little leaf that way and moving this mandarin that way, and then to see the finished product was flabbergasting.
But it's you're painting the picture, aren't you?
Yeah, I mean, it is. Is composition a big part of it?
Oh, it's the whole part of it. Like.
Yeah, I realise that's a silly question, but I mean, when I say the composition, did you learn that, or did you kind of have it first and you refined it?
I think you have to have a natural eye to see things. Like when you look at something and go, I like it, but you might be able to explain to yourself in the early days why I like it.
Yeah.
And then you start to go, okay, I like it because of the balance and the way. It's all about how your eyes lead through a picture, and it really should start somewhere, and the lines in the photos should bring you somewhere else. So the way everything's placed should make you flow through the picture.
When I look at your pictures, it's nearly like a painting that's been photographed.
That's very nice, Paddy.
Well, it is. I mean, I'm not. The reason I'm here is because your photography is so good, and because you agreed to sit down with me. But I mean, do you look at it and kind of like an art? I mean, obviously, photography is an art.
I do think photography is an art. I don't know if I necessarily give myself the credit of saying my pictures are art. This
is great. I can tell you all these things.
Well, thanks. You should come over more often. But I definitely have seen fine art photography even in the food world, and it's incredible. I think a picture of a potato sold for £1 million.
Wow.
Yeah, like I just
get the spuds out.
I know. If only I'd known. Hey.
£1 million. So I was reading about food photography as well, and I read kind of some funny stories where people use hairspray, or they use, not props, but chemicals and things to make food shine and to make food glisten and to make it look better. Do you do any of that, or is that?
Well, it was very much how it started, like back in the 70s, 80s. If you imagine, the digital world wasn't really there with cameras, and it wasn't as quick. So food had to sit around for a lot longer and sit around in heavy lights.
Yeah. Where
now it's much more natural. Like you can just put a plate beside a nice window and get the natural light. You don't need lights to start off or anything like that. So yeah, you don't make what was it? I think it's like you can make ice cream scoops out of shampoo or
that's the one I was going to ask you about. Yeah.
No, nowadays you get the ice cream and scoop it all and then put it in the freezer, freshly scooped, and bring those scoops out as you need it and reload the set.
With things like ice cream, are you working on a time limit because you don't want the drip, or is there a perfect moment where that drip is just coming down?
Yeah, there's a perfect moment, but you're definitely taking away one and bringing out a fresh one from the freezer.
Okay.
Like there's ways of using the natural. Natural is the best way first.
Yeah.
And there's ways of using that. But yeah, you're spritzing the salad leaves with water or the meat with water to make it look juicier. What else do you do? Like wine glasses in a shot is never wine, like white wine. It's normally soya and water.
Really?
Soya sauce and water, yeah. So like that kind of thing, because you're not cracking open the nice bottle of white wine every time you need a photo.
Unfortunately.
Yeah.
I was going to come to that. So I'm a bit of a whiskey head. I love my whiskey. And I saw you did a range for the Whistler from Brand Distillery. And I was going to ask you, the pictures look so good. Is it whiskey in the... Actually, should we talk about this? Is there whiskey in the glass?
Yeah, there's whiskey in those glasses.
And the ice. Is that real ice?
Some would be real ice, and I do have fake ice as well. Yeah.
So I was wondering at the time. And you don't want to dilute the colour of the whiskey.
No, you don't want to. But then if you put fake ice into a glass, you need to think about the condensation of glass. So it's okay for a whiskey because it's not cold.
Yeah.
But if you are putting something cold in, then you have to spritz the glass with either glycerine or water droplets, just so it looks
That's
real.
good, yeah.
Yeah, because I did an ad for Jameson, and like the level of detail you have to put in to just make a whiskey, lime and soda, and like the exact size of the lime and the way the wedge is placed in beside.
And were they giving that to you? Were they telling you that?
Yeah, they tell you the whole way they like it.
And was that good or was that frustrating?
No, it's a different brief for each client, and
Okay.
you just go with it. Yeah.
But it's not limiting what you do. You don't. Do you have the scope to do what you want yourself with the clients?
Well,
like
for
that?
something like that, you want the scope is getting it right for the client, so it's not. It's making it as perfect. So even with that, I would have put masking tape around the top of the glass so the condensation doesn't go past where the liquid goes.
Very good.
All this kind of like detail that you mightn't really think about, but
No, I
I've
wouldn't think about it
obsessed
at all.
it. Yeah.
I did actually a tasting with the Whistler last week.
Oh, did you?
And they were showing off the pictures, and then when I went to look
great.
at your website, I was like, oh, it's Clare's
You
pictures.
do.
That's deadly. Yeah, you made the bottles look brilliant. Do you have a favourite brand you've worked with? I mean, you've worked with so many. Does anybody stand out? I know they're all brilliant.
Do I have a favourite brand?
Like, we happy with the pictures of one or the other, or...
I think it's kind of like a new toy. So the next one you're on, you get really excited about. I really love recent ones I did with Newgrange Gold because Jack, who runs it,
I know Jack. Yeah, he's a great guy.
But he's so much. He lets me away with so much. He's like, "Go for it, Claire," and I'm like, "Okay, no worries." And then I remember it was around the time the rapeseed, all the beautiful yellow fields around Meath, and I was like, I need to go into the fields. But sure, it was still quite restrictions at that point this year with COVID. So
Yeah.
I made my brother-in-law, I was like, you need to meet me in that yellow field down the road. I don't know who owns it, but...
Was that around here?
Yeah, I was just like... Just go, I'll meet you at that gate. I just need you to hold a bottle in the field.
So that was your brother-in-law's house?
Yeah.
Because I was wondering, was it Jack or was it...
No.
Because it's funny, with Newgrange Gold, have you been to the farm?
Oh my God, isn't it?
Every
That's
picture
so
has
stunning.
that view in the background, and I was actually wondering why you didn't use it. Now I know.
No, it is a plan. One day
Yeah.
we're going to go down there.
Because that view is spectacular.
It's the best view
Yeah.
in Meath, I'd say.
I went on a food safari, and we went there, and it's the first time I met Jack. And you come around, you get out and you walk around, and you have this vista in front of you
Oh
with
my
the
God.
river and no. Amazing.
I'd never leave that house.
Yeah, you need to get over and photograph it.
Yeah.
Do you get to eat all the food that you work with?
Yeah.
All of it?
If I want to, yeah.
And are you sure that you don't open the bottles of wine?
No. Someone was using a really vinegary red wine on a set recently. I was like, I don't want to drink that. But yeah, you get to pick away. You can, and they're long days as well, so you could be picking non-stop. Like some things you don't want to eat.
Yeah.
Other things you can't wait till they move it off set, like so you can just.
And I read on one of your posts that somebody put a load of kumquats into your bag.
Oh yeah.
That's so nice. Get home
know.
with surprise kumquats in your bag.
Yeah, there's a stylist, Jet, who I've worked with a lot. She just like sneaks food because at the end of the shoot you're like, okay, who's taking what? Like, let's get rid of it. No one wants food waste, so I'd be very like, I'm not going to use that, so I'm not going to take it. But Jet never listens. She just puts whatever. She's like, she will. If I put the kumquats in her bag, she will make something from it. I was like, I did. I made kumquat jam in the end. I was like, you knew it.
Kumquat jam. Brilliant. Do you take long to edit your pictures? Is there much involved, or do you try and get as much in camera as you can?
Oh, you do try and get as much in camera, but yeah, it's like that. It takes longer than you plan, and you obsess over the details sometimes. And every picture is different, so some things could take a lot longer, and bigger ad campaigns take much more photoshopping and different things.
And one of the things I saw you doing that was gorgeous was Christmas. I'm guessing you love Christmas going by your pictures. The love seemed to shine out of them.
Well, I'd have to love it because I do it throughout the year. So
Oh, well, yeah, of course.
Christmas is not a one-day experience for me.
So when would you say you were doing a campaign for this Christmas? When would you start?
I did it in January this year.
January?
Yeah, for the first time. Normally it's around July or August.
Wow.
But for the first time this year, and it actually made sense because a lot of the products
Are still there.
are still in the shops. Where in July and August you're like, someone find me Brussels sprouts. Where can I find them? Like, so yeah, that's the dilemma. Yeah, and then sometimes you're like, oh, Christmas decorations. Because they want this kind of theme or this mood, and you're like, oh no, all the ones I have are.
So they know a year in advance. They'd hardly know what the food ranges are going to be, would they?
No, but you might do ones later on for them. And
so you might do your
that.
Turkey and your stuff that you know you're going to have, your Brussels sprouts, yeah.
And then if they got other products, you might do more. But that doesn't normally happen in January. It's normally a bit later on the year, maybe even September.
So you get to know what's coming into Lidl before everybody else.
Yeah, lots of yummy things are coming in.
And natural light or lights?
Natural light.
Yeah, always.
Not always. Sometimes you need some lights, but yeah,
where you can.
I can really see the difference in the photos, so, you know.
And do you own like a lighting rig and all that?
Yeah.
Yeah? Yeah. But you try not to?
No, you might use it as a bit to help you along with the natural light, or it gets pretty dark at this time of year, so you'd be limiting your hours of working. So yeah, you can recreate. There's lovely lights out there that you can get and make a lovely soft natural light look. But if
nothing's as good as light.
But if you can use the natural light that's there all day, and why not get the most out of that while you can?
And tell me about your Instagram. So your Instagram is brilliant. As I said, I stalked you all day today and yesterday. Do you ever feel the pressure to put up only good pictures? Like, do you never put up a crap picture?
I'd never put up a crap picture.
No. Do you have a personal page as well?
Yeah.
All right. Okay. So there are pictures of family and friends not looking perfectly coiffed.
But you know what? They're all actually my other photographs. So it's still, I don't put up a crap picture. It's just my job. It's my passion. So.
But do you ever switch off and just take a stupid selfie?
On my phone all the time.
But you never put them on your personal page, or? I
put them on my stories.
Yeah.
Like I put like selfies with friends or things on my stories. Like, yeah, I definitely share them. I'm not like going, oh look.
So it's 2 steps back.
Yeah.
You stop talking. But yeah, I saw a couple of the work selfies some of your work selfies. I didn't realize there'd be so many people involved.
Yeah, it can range, depending how big the shoot is. But yeah, you need, the photographer, the food stylist assistant, who could be in the kitchen, or there could be someone else in the kitchen. Sometimes there's a prop stylist. It just depends.
It's a big operation.
Bigger, yeah.
And how often would you be cooking for the foods you're photographing?
Some jobs I cook on them. So there's jobs for smaller clients that I might do the cooking side, and that's why it's great that I have that background as well.
And is that unusual for photographers? Would it be generally one or the other?
Generally, you've either studied photography or cooking, yeah. I'm sure there's loads of people that do a bit of both as well.
Okay.
And you pick up a lot on the shoots as well. So if there's a lot of recipes, a lot of prep that's involved, it works better. You can get more out of the shoot by having stylists and people prepping and stuff. So.
And is it like being on a set where you have somebody barking orders at you that you're going, shut up, I know what I'm doing?
It's normally me barking.
I find that hard to believe.
No, you don't bark. They're great fun, actually. I love everyone I work with, and it's kind of like visiting a new family each week, because I might be working with one stylist one week, or different assistants next week, and you might not have seen them for a few months.
But is there a community of you that you would all know each other?
Yeah, we'd all know each other and we'd all catch up. So they're all so lovely, and it's just like, that's the best part to me. And at the moment when you're not seeing anyone else, it's only work related. It's like, oh great, I'm going to hang out with you for a week.
And do you ever like have a photographer's Christmas or dinner or a summer dinner, and it's like, oh my god, there's a lot of food stylists and photographers coming in, make everything look good.
They normally just really appreciate food and is just happy to eat it.
Any tips for aspiring food photographers? If you had to give one golden rule.
Yeah, just switch off the lights in your kitchen and go put the plate beside the window.
Yeah.
And get a nice soft light. So it's not direct sunlight, it's normally north facing, but like get that soft light coming in and start that way. And, some of the first food photos I took were shocking. So don't be so hard on yourself. Yeah.
And do plates and bowls play a big role in the pictures? Do you have like a collection of plates and a
I
collection
have a
of...
full proper proper hoarder. But I go to places and buy one plate or one cup.
Yeah.
Textures in plates and nice ceramics and stuff. The less shiny plates that you might... Like the plates I have in my kitchen, I'd never photograph food on them. Yeah.
And you took part in the Blossom of Hair and you were a judge a couple of years ago.
Yeah, I've been a judge for a few years.
In Dingle.
In Dingle.
I have been meaning to go to that.
You need to go to Dingle Food Festival.
I know, in October. I did Dingle half marathon a couple of times. And every time we went down, it's like, the food festival, let's book. And of course, everything is booked out. Book it now for next year.
I was so gutted it was cancelled this year.
Is it that good?
It is that good because it's unpretentious completely. So you go there and everyone's involved and you can get tickets, or you don't have to get tickets. You could pay at the place, and then everybody puts up their little blackboard and there's little tasting notes or whatever. There might be a little taco from one place, or but there's also little burgers or nothing. It's not overly fancy.
Yeah.
But then you walk along and see a family have set up a table selling some jam.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So everyone can be involved. The streets are...
It's communal.
Totally communal. The streets are packed.
Because I love Dingle. My summer holiday every year was Dingle.
Well, I fell in love with Dingle through the food festival and Bloss. So, I totally see why.
And how did they ask you to become a judge? Or did you know somebody, or was it just the quality?
Just other judges that I knew, and I got into it that way. So, yeah, sit down for 2.5 days, eating loads of food and talking about it, and then going into the weekend of the food festival, eating loads of food and talking about it. Literally in heaven, yeah.
Sign me up. And do you feel an obligation to be kinder towards the Meath producers than you would towards the others?
I am none of that.
You're unbiased.
Unbiased, yeah.
Okay, brilliant. And you spoke
sorry, I don't actually know who the food is. It's all blind tasting.
Oh.
Yeah, sorry. It's completely blind tasting. I wouldn't know.
Brilliant. Because it was only a couple of weeks ago, wasn't it?
Yeah, but it was different this year.
Yeah, necessarily so.
Yeah.
You talked about growing up on a farm. I know you're back in the farm life. And you're growing your own veg.
Growing my own veggies,
yeah. You love peas as well. That's something I forgot to say.
Oh my God, I love peas.
Yeah, and they're very photogenic as well.
They're very pretty little things, aren't they? But they're so... the problem is they don't make it into my kitchen because I just sit on the wall in the garden nibbling on
Nature's
them.
sweets.
Oh, they're so good.
Yeah.
No, I love growing veggies, and they're just the best when they're that fresh. They just taste like nothing you can buy anywhere.
And you raised bees for a while, did you?
I keep bees with my dad, so yeah, he's the beekeeper. I kind of just rock up sometimes
and steal the honey.
And steal the honey.
Sitting outside dipping peas in honey.
Yeah.
And does he do it commercially or just for himself?
Just for himself, yeah. He got into it. I think he would have liked to have got into it a lot younger. But he's great. He's a farmer, so he loves the bees. He loves what they do for the world, and he loves nature. So he taught me all of that.
So I did notice as well, you lose honey a lot in your pictures. The little wooden, I don't know if there's a name for it. Is there a name for the little wooden thing you used to pick the honey?
There probably is.
Yeah, I'll have to look that up. But it's very photogenic, that little
That'd
wooden
be a
thing.
good food quiz test.
It would, yeah. I always just use a spoon and end up licking it, and I'm going, I must get one of those bloody wooden things. But I'm messy. It's going to be messy anyway. Right, we might move on to your own life with food outside of work.
Oh, yeah.
I know we're in the middle of COVID, so it's kind of a bit of a silly question. But when you do go out, do you have favourite restaurants? Do you have people you go to that you've worked with before? Do you have any special places that you like to go?
Yeah, so my hobby is eating.
Okay.
I love going to restaurants and I love trying new places. I am definitely not a creature of habit when it comes to food. So I can't even fathom the idea of going to the same place the whole time. And there's so many places open up all the time that you're like, oh, I need to try that. And oh my God, it looks delicious. So yeah, there's loads of places. I love when I go into Navan, I go to the cafe Ode, isn't it?
Ode, yeah, on the square.
They have a lovely dal with naan bread, pickled onions. And that's my little treat.
Very good. What about if you're in Dublin?
So in Dublin, the fancier places I go to Forest and Marcy, Eto, Uno Mas.
Eto's got a couple of mentions. Apparently they have a dessert.
The prunes?
Yeah.
Oh, stop. Oh my God.
See the way you knew straight away what it was.
They're good prunes.
Who would would have thought prunes would be such a raped about dessert.
Wine.
Yeah.
Oh, you have to try them. It's so hard at the moment because loads of these amazing places are doing takeaways, and it's like, oh god. Yeah, and then there's also like some places you just crave certain dishes. So like Mr. S do these miso roast potatoes, and like we loved them so much when we had dinner that even after we paid the bill, we asked for another serving of miso roast potatoes. They're like
After dessert.
And like after we were like, we just can't stop thinking about them. So like there's certain things like that, like the tuna tostadas in 777. Oh my god,
I haven't had them.
Oh, you have to have them.
I love 777, the ceviche, I don't know how you pronounce it. It was the first time I ever had it. Wow.
And then there's lovely little cafes like BB's, do this Turkish eggs and butternut squash. Or there's this amazing place, Assassination Custard. Have you heard of that?
No.
So basically...
Great name. Yeah. Assassination Custard.
Yeah, so it's hidden away. It's on Kevin Street, I think. And outside it says Little Cafe, so you actually wouldn't know it was that. There's 2 tables inside that's run by a husband and wife who go down to market every morning and then scribble a menu on some brown paper bags. And then you're basically in their kitchen having a chat. And then people come in and you share a table and you're all sitting on stools and trying to squeeze in or standing up. And it's like Irish tapas. Like, so whatever he says.
Is it daytime or nighttime? Or both?
Daytime.
Daytime, okay.
And it's not been opened obviously this year, but it's a great little find.
That's so going on to the list.
Yeah, if you don't get there early, you won't get in. Like, there's no table.
Assassination Custard. I'm sure there's a story behind that name. We might try and get them to sit down with me. Would you ever eat crap food? Do you eat junk food?
Yeah, like all foods if it's yummy. But I don't. If I'm really hungover, then like I don't know. I just munch through any crap.
Yeah.
Like that's when.
Just sustenance.
Yeah, just give me crap. But I'm not much for like I wouldn't. If I'm sat in the garage, I'd rarely buy a packet of crisps or anything like that.
And what's your weakness? I mean, is it the measles buds?
Yeah, I think most food's my weakness, but I really love ice cream. Really love ice cream. Like I could definitely. That's probably my biggest junk food.
Really?
Happily.
See, I hate calling ice cream junk food because it's so good, and I don't want to admit that it's junk food.
Yeah.
And if you're home alone and it's a winter's night and there's nobody around and you have the fire lit like you have here tonight, and you're sitting up on the couch, what's your comfort food? Is there something you cook for yourself that just it's warmth in a bowl? So
I definitely wouldn't go to like ridiculous efforts to make myself a long-winded dinner.
Yeah.
And we have hens, so it would be taking some sourdough that I'd always have in the freezer, toasting that and making poached eggs with some kale and then like maybe peanut rayu on top.
What's peanut rayu?
Have you not had it?
No.
Oh my goodness.
Don't even know what it is.
It's a condiment that's made in Dublin and it's like crack. So it is addictive. And now you're going to buy it and spend all your money on it.
Peanut rayu.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's kind of like a Japanese-inspired dish with toasted sesame seeds and garlic and peanuts, and you just end up putting it on everything. It's delicious, yeah.
Sounds good. And if you have people over and you're cooking for them, is there this outrageous pressure on you to make everything look amazing?
I've always just loved being a host, so I love having people over. I think they just know it's going to be yummy at this stage.
Yeah, but...
So it doesn't need to necessarily... Like, I will throw maybe a few sprinkled toasted almonds or pomegranate seeds on something.
You wouldn't spend half an hour putting a leaf a certain way.
Not at all. It's like, you wouldn't be having fine dining at my house. You'd be having sharing platters. You'd be like... Also, if you walk in, you'd be probably roped into making something like, we'll be rolling dumplings together.
So it's the communal thing again.
Totally, yeah.
Very good. And at Christmas, what's your Christmas traditions?
Christmas traditions, I'm sent to the kitchen to do all the work while everyone else does.
Really?
Yeah.
This is the problem.
Yeah, no, definitely.
We've just been joined by the lovely Truffles, the dog, who's coming to say hello and to get on the podcast.
He's still going to knock over your mic.
He's okay if he does, we'll start again. So yeah, you have to cook at Christmas.
Yeah, I do all the cooking. One of my sisters helps do some dishes and stuff, but yeah.
Mostly it's you. And do you enjoy that?
Yeah, I love it. I love perfecting and getting it all. And I know we've done it so many times now. So
and are you a turkey and ham kind of house?
Totally traditional. Turkey and ham. Prawn cocktail to start. All that jazz. Mince pies.
Plenty of wine.
Plenty of wine. cheese, all that.
Everything.
Yeah.
Food coma stuff.
Totally.
And tell me, you're from the farm, and I know originally, and I know I hate truffles, and I know you said in one of your posts that you loved licking your grandma's spoon when she was baking.
Yeah.
Is there a food that brings you back to a certain time or place? Is there something that you remember that brings you back? I mean, have you seen the movie Ratatouille?
Yeah.
You know when he eats the ratatouille.
Well, every time I make soda bread, that just reminds me straight away of my granny.
Yeah.
It's even the smell of the flour when the buttermilk hits it.
Yeah.
I don't know. There's just a smell.
Food has that power, doesn't it, just to bring you back? Yeah,
and it brings me to... I just always remember, I don't know when she wasn't making soda bread. She made it every day. And then when you'd have a warm slice with butter just melting on it, like, just so simple.
Yeah.
And then she always had a jar of meringues in her house that you could just reach to and grab one. So meringues are a big thing of my childhood, definitely.
Was there strawberries on them?
Oh yeah, there'd be strawberries and cream around the place, yeah.
And of all the food that you're into, and like peanut rayu might come up here, is there an ingredient that you couldn't live without, or a dish that life just wouldn't be the same without?
Butter. 100%.
Yeah.
Like,
from a taste or a style point of view?
Oh, taste.
Yeah.
Just put butter on everything and then life will be good.
And on the flip side of that, is there something that you don't like, even if it's photography or if it's taste?
Well, I just don't understand rice cakes. Like, what are they?
They're a health
No. Who designed food and said, let's make it taste like cardboard and squeak in your teeth?
And make people feel better about what they're eating.
Yeah, it's just like used as a vehicle to put other things on top of it. But you can put other things on top of other things that taste good. I just don't get it. Like, why? Ban them all. Burn them.
And
they're called cakes. So this whole Jaffa cake debate.
And as an extension to that, is there a food that's really, really tough to photograph?
Is there food that's... You'd be just surprised what's going to get you on the day. Sometimes you think, oh, that cake's going to be so easy and it'll be fine. But like things like whole cuts of meat, so like obviously a big turkey, because you can't do a load of them.
I saw one of your pictures actually with turkey was halved and it was beside each other.
Yeah.
It looked really good, but I suppose maybe that's why.
Yeah, so like you wouldn't cook a turkey the whole way through because you'd have a dry turkey, so it's pretty much raw inside, and then you kind of paint the brownness on
Really?
it. That's probably the most cheating you do for food. But then like if you're cooking a whole rib of beef, like the timing of that, and you nearly need to undercook meat because they go grey in sitting out too long.
Yeah.
So you need to keep that pinkness, and then it's getting the balance between not being raw and jelly like in the middle. So yeah, meat.
See, all these things that we would never think of.
I know.
Food, we could sit here all night. I'm not surprised your passion for food is coming through very, very strongly. Let's move on and talk a little bit about alcohol. So you take a drink?
I like drink, yes.
Yeah. Do you enjoy matching food and drinks in your photography?
Yeah, well, I think I just enjoy matching food and drink.
In life?
Yeah, with myself.
And are you a wine person or you?
Yeah, I like wine. I
But
like all of it.
Would wine be your main drink?
Yeah, I think wine would be my main drink, yeah. The thing is, though, I just can't drink as much anymore. Like, so I spent the first 3 months of this year not having a drink. So when I'm busy, hangovers are just crazy. So I just couldn't be,
can't be dealing
with them. And then March came. And then we were all inside. I was like, all right, okay, I think we need a drink now. So,
I think everybody was the same thing.
I don't drink that much. I kind of like wait to special occasions and stuff.
Apart from lockdown, when it's easy to open a bottle because you don't have to get up
and
the
it's
next morning.
Monday.
Yeah. But the days run into themselves.
Yeah.
Do you have a favourite drink?
I'd say wine.
Anything in particular?
I love a white wine, like a Sancerre or a Chablis.
Yeah.
Like, really like those. I also like champagne, but I don't know when I drink.
Special occasions.
Yeah.
Yeah, it'd be nice to have special occasions all the time to drink champagne.
Yeah.
Do you remember your first drink?
No, I don't remember at all. My family was always very relaxed about alcohol, so I think it was always there. And if you wanted a sip, you could have it. I remember...
There's no great taboo.
Yeah, I remember always putting smiley faces in the top of my dad's Guinness and licking my fingers. So I remember doing that.
Well, technically that would be your first drink.
Yeah.
And do you have a favourite pub? Do you have a local?
I don't have a local pub I go to, but Yeah, I suppose maybe O'Donoghue's in Dublin. O'Dowd's in Rainstone.
Don't know.
Have you ever been it?
No.
So basically, it's a really, really tiny pub, but there's a wall outside that you cross a small little road to get to. Like, so it's just a few metres from the door. So these cars have to get by you, but everyone sits on the wall. And it's like, I always go down on my holidays and have a pint of Guinness on that wall. And it's this feeling of like, I'm on my holidays.
Yeah, I'm on holidays.
Yeah. I love it.
And what do you order in a pub? Do you, like, I'm guessing most pubs wouldn't serve Sancerre or Chablis.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Gin and tonic.
Gin and tonic.
Yeah.
Any gins in particular?
Love Dingle Gin.
Yeah.
I love Bertha's Revenge.
Oh, the milk gin. And when you're having the pint down on the wall, is it a pint of Guinness you're having on your holiday? Yeah.
But not, I don't know, a handful of pints of Guinness in a year, like maybe 2 or 3.
But there is that holiday, especially when you're in the West. And I know it's such a cliche, but when you're in the West and you're sitting on the wall, you'd feel bad having a gin.
And then you can order some oysters or some crab claws and you just nibble on them and it's like happy out.
Yeah, we're on holidays.
Yeah.
And do you have a hangover cure?
No, I think my life is going to end
when
I'm hungover. But I'm normally surrounded by liquids, so there'll be a hot tea, a pint of water, fizzy drink, an orange juice, and maybe a tub of ice cream somewhere, and tissues to cry myself.
And is this in a room or in a bedroom? Do you get out of bed?
Oh yeah, get up. Probably, maybe keep the curtains closed. Yeah, no, terrible hangovers. I need to find a cure because I know there's things that might help. I don't think there's a cure, and I find the older I get, the absolute worse they get. Terrible, yeah.
It's getting to the stage I'm wondering if it's worth it. Okay, we might take a little break there. I always kind of take a break after speaking about hangovers. There is a plate of homemade cookies here that look good, straight out of one of Claire's pictures. So I'm going to have one of them. I'm going to have a cup of coffee, but we'll be back to you in just a few seconds. Welcome back to the Chopping Block podcast, where my guest is food stylist and photographer Clare Wilkinson. So every week I ask my guests for a recipe. It could be something they cook or something they love having cooked for them. I never know in advance what they're going to give me, so this is always a little bit nervy. So I'll take the recipe they give me, I'll cook it, I'll share the process on my Instagram story, and you can see how it goes. Everything I've cooked so far has turned out pretty good, surprisingly, so hopefully that continues this time. You can watch along on my Instagram story and on my Instagram highlights. And this week, I don't know how I'm going to make this look good, because I have a serious judge looking at me here. I have a professional food photographer, but we'll give it a go. It'll be fun trying it. So Claire, what have you got for me to cook?
So I went a bit different, Paddy. I went a bit off-piste.
Okay, good.
I really, I remember when I started cooking and how you kind of following all these recipes and, the rigmarole of getting all those ingredients, and then it takes you a while to find your own little identity with cooking. And realistically, you're never going to do that every night of the week. You need things that get you through those weeknights. So I've created 4 tiny recipes that are flavour bombs that you have in your fridge to yummy up each meal.
Okay, great.
So, and I also think they're versatile, as in you can then, once you learn the technique, add different flavours to it, and then all of a sudden you have 4 little things that are in your repertoire that will make you like a fancy chef.
Okay, go on, hit me.
Okay, so the first thing is just a quick pickle, a quick red onion pickle.
Okay. So
it's so simple to make, and it can take on the flavours and spices you put into it. So 2 red onions, 300 millilitres of cider vinegar, a tablespoon of salt and 3 tablespoons of caster sugar. And then I've added black peppercorn, what else is it? Coriander and fennel seeds. But
fresh coriander?
No.
Coriander seeds?
Seeds, yeah. And then, but you could put in even a star anise or something like that, and I put in a bay leaf.
Okay.
Right? So you slice up your onions, you put all that cider mixture in a pan, you bring that to a boil. And then...
Sorry, do you put the onions in...
No, you put the onions in a colander and just pour boiling water over them. It helps get the raw onion taste out. And then you boil up that cider mixture. You get a little jar or bowl, and then you pour that onto your onions. And that's it, done.
And how long do you leave it in?
They stay in there, but you don't touch it till it cools down for around 2 hours. But it can last in your fridge for weeks.
But it's good to go after 2 hours?
Yes.
Oh, right. Oh, I thought this one would have to stay in the cupboard for 2 weeks.
No, you pop it in the fridge and you pickle onions.
Lovely.
And then so like even a simple like smoked salmon on brown bread, put that on top. Fancy, Paddy.
Deadly, because we do love smoked salmon and brown bread.
Yeah. Now it's just been elevated.
Excellent. That's one.
Yeah, that's one. Okay. So the next is mayonnaise. Have you ever made your own mayonnaise?
Never.
Right. Okay.
Brilliant.
So mayonnaise is a great one to have because actually then you can add loads of different flavours to it. So I've given you a basil mayonnaise because I think it is so addictive when you have a fresh basil mayonnaise.
Okay.
Like, oh my God. I think I first tried it and I was shocked at how much I could eat with it because it was so good.
See, my experience of mayonnaise, I know I've had homemade mayonnaise out, but
Yeah.
it's Hellman's mayonnaise out of a jar.
No,
Yeah.
this is a different ball game.
Okay.
No. Like, there's nothing wrong with Hellman's. I use it plenty of times. But fresh mayonnaise that you make from scratch is just
A different one.
yeah,
Okay, go on, talk me through it.
Okay, so 2 egg yolks, a quarter teaspoon of Dijon mustard, quarter teaspoon of salt, and then neutral oil. So it's all like a lot of people would use olive oil, and it's too grassy, it's too strong. So if you are using olive oil, you need to do kind of 50-50 or a little less olive oil anyway.
So when you say neutral oil?
So you could use a vegetable oil, sunflower oil, or a groundnut oil.
Okay.
But it just keeps. You could put a little bit of like 25% of it, make it into an olive oil or a rapeseed oil, just to balance it out. But you just don't want that overpowering flavour. It will take over.
Okay.
And we really want the basil to
shine.
So then you need 30 grams of basil, right? So you boil the kettle and you pour that boiling water over the basil to shock it, and then you put it straight into ice water.
Are you chopping the basil first?
No, you just have
Full
the
leaves.
leaves
Okay.
and 30 grams of it, which is quite a lot of leaves.
Yeah.
But trust me, you need it. So then you're shocking that, and then you put it into ice water. This is how it's going to keep green. So it's not going to go into a brown mayonnaise. It's going to be nice and have this little green tone to it. Do you have a blender?
Yes.
Okay, so you're going to do this in a blender. If you weren't doing it in a blender, you just chop up that basil, put it in a bowl and whisk it, and you'd have more flaky bits, which works perfectly too. But in a blender, you're going to put your egg yolks in, your Dijon, your salt. Oh yeah, there's half a lemon juice in there as well. Don't put the half lemon in just yet, but you add that at the end. Then you put your basil in and get started blending. And you slowly put in the oil, okay? So just slowly, just relax. It's all good in the hood. And as long as you see the oil isn't just sitting at the top that it is being incorporated, it works. Like if you're making mayonnaise for the first time in a blender, it's the best way to do it than when you're whisking it, because it's trying to get that balance of whisking and pouring slowly. It's like that rubbing your head and patting at the same time. So, so blend it and just putting it in slowly.
Okay.
And then you have mayonnaise in the fridge for 3 days.
Okay, with the pickle, I think I can do that without anything going. What can go wrong with the?
It can split.
Yeah.
So if it's split, the best way is to start the mayonnaise process again, as in get another egg yolk, and then just start whisking in your split mayonnaise to that, because you just need to emulsify it back in. Now don't do this 20 times and you have 20 egg yolks and then all of a sudden enough mayonnaise for it. But yeah, you just start whisking it back in and then continue with the rest of the oil. You might need a little bit more oil.
Very good.
And then sometimes when you start off, you end up making quite a thick mayonnaise. But you can just put a drop of boiling water
to loosen it.
Yeah, if you want. Don't be too scared of water. So just add it in.
Okay, and number 3?
Number 3 is a compound butter. So it's like a flavoured butter. So these ones are great. Like obviously you've herb ones, and you can make a chorizo one, like just blend that all up with the butter. But I've kind of gone a bit fancy.
Okay.
And I have some ingredients to give you, because I was like, he's not going to find these, and I'm just being cruel. So, no, but this butter is an umami hit your face. Like, you know, it sounds like a tsunami hit your face. Umami flavour just it just adds to it, like without anything being overpowering. So it really heightens the flavour of things when you add it to stuff. So it's a miso and toasted pumpkin seed butter, right?
I have pumpkin seeds. I have no miso.
I have some miso to cook. So basically what do you do for this? Oh yeah, so you toast your pumpkin seeds and then you make a quick pumpkin seed butter out of that.
So literally just mix butter and pumpkin seeds?
No.
Oh, okay.
Do you know like a nut butter? So do you know how nut butter is made? It's just made by blitzing the nuts so much that the natural oils come out and then turns into a paste.
Yeah.
So you're going to do that with pumpkin seeds.
Okay.
So it takes around 5-10 minutes to do it until it's smooth and shiny. And it depends. If you have a big blender, you might need to double the quantities of this. Just because it will get lost in the blender. But you scrape it down, it takes a while, and then you have that base. And then you add the rest of the ingredients, which is soft butter, onion, and lime zest, right? And you blend it all up, and you put it in your parchment paper or your cling film, and you make it like sausage,
like a ballantine.
Pop it in the freezer, and you have it there for months. And you just slice that off like the fancy chefs do. And you little round of butter that you can put on top of your steak and let it like drip in, and you'd be like, why is my steak so fancy and tastes so good? And then also with your potatoes, it's really good as well.
So anything really?
Yeah, just where you it's really nice on toast with 2 soft boiled eggs, and you're like, oh my god, these soft boiled eggs and toast and butter, but there's something else just elevating it.
Yeah.
And I think when we really look at the flavours of things and how to elevate them just that little bit, it's less daunting than thinking of all these recipes you can't do.
Just slice up a bit of butter from the freezer.
Yes,
Very
exactly.
Good.
And now the last one.
I don't like the look on your face.
Which you can totally opt out because there's 2 last ones. It's kind of like my idea. So we have like a pickle, we have a mayonnaise, and we have a butter. But this is a sprinkle. So like it's a dry sprinkle, lasts longer. I have to try and pronounce it. Furikake. Okay, wait.
Let's call it furikake.
It's not furikake. I was saying it right earlier. Furikake. It's Japanese anyway, so I'm a Japanese, a little rusty. So basically, it is sesame seeds, nori sheets. You know those sheets that wrap around the sushi?
Yeah.
Yeah, so one of those. I have one to give you.
I was just going to say, where the hell am I going to get that now?
And bonito flakes. Do you know them?
No.
They're dried fish flakes. So again, all like the seaweed is salty. There's dried fish flakes that's more umami. So same kind of concept of a lot of anchovies be used in sauces that we don't even know because they just lift the flavour. Or traditionally in Asian food, lots of fish sauce in Thai food.
Yeah.
Like, so you might go, ooh, fish sauce.
No.
Like it just goes amazing to heighten something that you didn't even know it needed. So this is just a little sprinkle. And you kind of just toast off your seeds and toast off your nori sheet and your bonito flakes. You blend the bonito and the nori sheet and mix it with your seeds. There's a little bit of pinch of salt. There's a pinch of sugar and salt to your taste. I've upped the sesame seeds in the recipe so it's not so overpowering with seaweed and bonito flakes to start off, but you might like that flavour, so add it to
used to it,
yeah. But then there's also, you could do a gremolata instead if that's too much.
No.
So gremolata is just
my whole thing with this is to try things I might not have and to see
that's what I wanted.
Yeah, and to see what people love, and and to be honest with you, these sound great to me because there are times I'm like, okay, we're having smoked salmon and brown bread again.
Yeah.
What can we do to make it and I would put a little bit of creme fraiche with a bit of chives or something in it, but that's boring.
But it gets
relatively boring.
It gets boring.
Yeah.
It's not even that. It's lovely, but if you're doing it a lot, it gets boring.
Yeah, do a bit of pickle instead, yeah.
Yeah, and like people talk about food prep for meals and stuff, and I was like, oh yeah, eat your 5-day-old chicken breast that's gone dry. I'm like, food prep your fridge for yumminess. Like, put some things in there. So if you do just want your poached eggs on toast, that you have a little chili oil that you can put on top.
A little hit of something to make about it.
Yeah, it just brings it up, and then you're just happy out for your quick meal. Like your fish with some basil mayonnaise, and roasted tomatoes.
Yeah.
Like, it just becomes much
better.
Yeah. So it's not so daunting. Like I remember, like was starting cooking, it was like so daunting. All these recipes, I don't have these ingredients, and I don't know how to make that from scratch. And it's like
I love how you talk about, you should have all these things in your cupboard. Me so
I know, but yeah, I know, and I do have these things in my cupboard. So I was understanding that you mightn't. So I have some backup.
Very good of you.
Yeah, but there is gremolata as well. So gremolata is just lemon zest, garlic clove, and parsley. And if you chop that all up,
and that'll do it.
And you sprinkle it on anything, even a pizza.
It's better.
It's chewy.
Yeah, I love lemon.
Yeah.
I love lemon.
Yeah.
Okay, so
I have those to give you.
Brilliant. I was going to say I'll get you to email to me.
Yeah.
Okay, that's going to be great crack. I think this one might be more of a couple of days and then just post them all on Sunday. Especially now that I need light to make them look as good as you would. So yeah, that'll be up on my Insta story. That'll be an interesting one. I might have to get Claire to tell us where she's sourcing all the ingredients as well, just in case anybody wants to try it.
The food store, the Asian Hallow one on Medges Lane.
Up beside the cinema.
Up beside the cinema. Has loads of stuff.
Okay.
And like going to little shops like that, they're so happy to order things in for you if you've seen something.
See, I'd find it intimidating because I'd go in and I wouldn't know anything. But now I know what I need to look for.
the more you go in, then you're on a foodie adventure each time. And you're like, oh, what's this? And then you buy it because you're like spontaneously shopping. And then you're like, shit, I need to use this. So then it forces you to use it.
It's funny. I think I'm a little bit typical Irish kind of. I love my food, but God, I wouldn't want to be seen in that kind of place because I wouldn't know what I'd be doing and people would be judging me.
No, but go in and explore. It's right there.
I will now, especially when I make your stuff and I love them and I want to make them again. Okay, that's going to be fun. So we'll move on to the end. Let's get finished. This is the fun bit. This is where you decide on your perfect meal or your death row dinner. I have a feeling this is going to be good from what I've heard so far. So far when I've asked people, I've been given a gorgeous mix of nostalgic feasts made up by their mum or their dad or their family. And I've got fancy pants extravaganzas from restaurants as well. So it's always entertaining for me to see what way people go. And with you, who's a food photographer, who obviously from those recipes even has such a vast array of knowledge about food, this is going to be good. So as a base, I'm going to give you 3 courses, drinks to match, but that's only a base. You can do whatever you want. You can have 15 courses. You can have 1 course. You can have drinks to match. You can have no drinks. You can have cookies. You can have wine. Anything you want is yours. So what have you got for me?
Okay, so it's definitely not a death row meal.
Okay.
It is definitely the perfect meal.
Okay.
Because it's going to have a load of people at it.
Okay.
Because they're the best meals, aren't they? They're when they're shared, a load of sharing food.
Yes.
We'll definitely start with bubbles. And it's then going to be... Oh, it has to be in... I have to know the time of year. So, like, every time of year we predict
it's your perfect meal.
Yeah,
you can have a mixture of all the times.
So, no, this would have to be in the summer. Because
Okay.
you'd pick a different one for the winter.
Okay.
And it would be...
If you could see the excitement on Claire's face right now, guys, it's brilliant.
It's literally... I want it to happen so badly. Okay, so it's al fresco. It's outside.
Yeah.
It's all your nearest and dearest. Great crack. You have a glass of bubbles in your hand. Big, long table. Full of seafood extravaganzas. So we're talking like...
So is this a starter or is this the whole meal?
No, this is starter.
Okay.
You just sit back, relax. We'll tell you what's meant to
We'll
go.
be here a while.
Yeah. So like the crabs, the lobsters, fresh salmon and also smoked salmon, oysters, all of the jazz, right? Brown bread, butter, mayonnaise, all your little dips. Gorgeous.
Yeah.
And you just get stuck in, you're using your hand, you're
Good.
cracking open a lobster, you're dipping it in the
You got little
mayonnaise.
lobster and crab hammers.
Yes, totally.
The sound of cracking.
Yeah, there's shells flying everywhere. It's dangerous, but no one cares. We're all there. We're all happy, and you're just getting stuck right in. So that's the starter, and also this thing is going to be very long. Like as in, like I like grazing all day.
Yeah.
I'd be happily be a cow in the field, just nibble away for the day. So that would be the starter. All delicious, loads of oysters. And some champagne.
Very good.
Just wash it all down.
Yeah.
And then for the main course, obviously it's still al fresco, we're still outside. And have you ever seen, do you watch The Chef's Table?
Started it recently, but haven't had a chance to get
God,
stuck in.
do you know that feeling when you're so jealous of people who've started something that and you want to start it again from fresh eyes. So there's this episode with this famous Argentinian chef, Francis Molman. He cooks outdoors on fires.
Yeah.
And he has this his kind of signature dome thing where all these meats and pineapples and veggies are hanging. He makes fire pits and fills them with like whole lambs and pigs and veggies in there, and like they're cooking for hours and hours, and he does great things with vegetables and chars them, and it's all part of this meal, and it comes...
It's like theatre as well though, is it?
Yeah, and they're just cooking there, and...
So it's your perfect meal. Is he going to come and do this?
Yes,
Yeah.
Of course he is. Of course, yeah. Just come to my house, Francis, you're grand. And they come out, but I also love as much as I love the meats and everything, I love the sides, and I am obsessed with vegetables. So like lovely salads made out of roasted veggies, like a charred courgette salad with mint and peas is just one of my favourite things. And then there'd be like there's be chimichurri sauce and like all the right things, and you build your own plates because we all have our own little favourites. So I'm also really happy if everyone else around me is happy eating.
Yeah.
So they've built their perfect plates, what they like balanced on it, and we all sit there and then eat that all with lovely red wine.
Bread?
Always bread.
Yeah, always bread.
Like this time we'll have a crusty roll, like French baguette, that would be lovely. And dip that into the leftover sauces.
Yeah, and the blood, the juices.
Yeah, so that's the main course.
What are you drinking with it?
Red wine, I think.
Yeah, anything in particular? Are you going to stick with Argentinian and go with a big juicy Malbec, or would you go for something else? Yeah.
Or Bordeaux or something, anything.
Yeah. Just give me red wine.
Just give me the red wine, yeah. And then for dessert, like I do like a pause between each meal though, like because you want to make room to enjoy the next one. I don't like...
And there's a lot of people there, you're going to be chatting.
Chatting away, yeah.
You're going to be saying, oh, what do you got there? Give me some of that, and dip a bit of bread in the last of there, yeah.
Yeah. So then for the dessert, it's kind of a torn between my mum's raspberry meringue roulade. It's just, I could eat that.
Does it be gang? Have two things.
Yes,
it's your perfect meal.
I think so. I thought like maybe a dessert trolley.
I think they've banned them actually.
What?
Yeah, apparently.
They still have it in Ballymaloe.
Oh, okay.
At Ballymaloe House, yeah.
Don't tell the health inspectors.
Shh. They can't ban them. That's too amazing.
I think it's something to do with the chill. They have to be cold and something. Anyway, go on.
Oh, I picture when I arrive in heaven, there's a dessert trolley just rolls up to me. So yeah, the roulade, but also this summer I made these grilled peaches with a cardamom crumb and a vanilla ice cream and a brandy and butter sauce.
Wow.
It's just like stone fruit in the summer and ice cream, and it has the texture. And
did you make your own ice cream?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it has the texture and the cold and the warm and the hot.
Very good. No strawberries.
You can put strawberries in the roulade.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, they're still there. So that's it. Definitely fruit, because that's the time of the year.
And what are you going to drink with that? You can stick in the red wine, or are you a dessert wine drinker, or...
I do like dessert wine, but I don't think...
I kind of like dessert wine away from dessert. Go back to the champagne.
Yeah, or just nice white wine if that's it.
Yeah.
I'd be gee-eyed, but
it's a long day. It's a long day. And is it nighttime yet, or is it still daytime?
Oh yeah, the sun is setting.
There's that golden glow where the nice day is coming tomorrow.
Totally.
And are you going to have another drink after? Are you going to have a cheese board? Are you going to have...
Yes.
Yeah. Give me it all. Okay, what's a new cheese board? Give me 3 cheeses.
And then can I give you more?
Oh, you can, yeah.
So the cheese board doesn't come till later, and when the fire pit's happening and you all have your blankets around you know, because the food is really rested and you can really stuck in to cheese board. Now I'm obsessed with cheese boards. At Christmas time last year, I went to 4 different cheese shops, chatted to each of them for like 20 minutes, showing them my cheese board choices for Christmas and asking them if I'd made the right choice. They all gave me gold stars. But yeah, so it has to have the balance of the blues and the cheddar and the soft and the gooeys and all.
How many cheeses are on it?
Oh, how many cheeses do I normally have? So you'd need...
Just so you know, everybody, the only thing she's written down on this meal is the list of cheeses.
So you need your goat's cheese.
Yeah.
So that's obviously St. Tola's ash log. The St. Tola's ash log is delicious. First time I ate it, I couldn't stop myself. Young Buck's blue cheese.
Haven't had that yet.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Have it. Like Point Valley blue cheese as well, be happy out.
See, I'm kind of loyal to Point Valley Blue, but he did, when I interviewed Michael, he did tell me to try the Young Bucks. He says it's brilliant.
And then a Montour, so you have your slinky one on there, like nice.
Baked?
No, but just like ripe, you know?
Yeah.
It's ready to go. It's like properly gooey. And then there's an Irish cheese, Shepherd's Store. It's a Cashel sheep's cheese, so that'd be kind of like your cheddar on your board. So it's really nice. And then a Comte, 24.
I love a Comte.
Yeah, it has to be the 24 month, not the 16 month, because we're going strong here, okay? So that has to be there. I just think I could nibble on a Comte like an apple, like. And then
you're like a child talking about Christmas. It's so funny.
I love it. I was so disappointed at Christmas last year because I wasn't hungry enough for the cheese board. Like, I think I enjoyed it more the next day. Yeah. But I just had been obsessed about it for so long. I just wanted.
The thought of it was too much.
But the cheese board, I think I enjoyed the most when they're just your full meal, like rather than trying to shove
like
it
a mezzi plate or a top spread.
Yeah. And then one last cheese. Sorry. There's a French cheese called Délice de Bourgogne, and I honestly not very good at French, but it's a triple cream cheese brie style.
Okay.
So it's made with cream, 3 types of cream. And it's just like gooey deliciousness.
Where would a man get that?
Sheridan's.
Sheridan's,
yeah. 100%.
Because we will be doing a cheese board at Christmas.
Do this cheese board, and
I don't think anybody could do this cheese board.
Oh my God.
And get through it. Lucky you've got 20 people there. Will any of them get near it?
Yeah, I don't know. At this stage, I told them all to go home. I'm leaving.
And you having grapes and crackers and strawberries?
A little bit of grapes and maybe a little bit. I think I'm happy with just the grape more so than the chutneys or anything like that. Just a little grape and nice crackers.
Yeah.
Nice nutty crackers.
And what are you drinking with?
Oh, it's just the port. Give me
the port.
Yeah, that stage.
I love port.
Yeah.
Port is the great hidden drink. People don't drink port.
And then
what the hell is wrong with you people?
Oh, it's so nice with cheese. And then I want someone to just carry me to bed and let me sleep.
And you're happy.
In a food coma.
And then get up in the morning and don't open the curtains and
get up in the morning and eat all the leftovers.
Yeah, and 17 glasses of liquid.
Yeah, oh yeah, exactly. There'd be no hangover in the perfect day.
Well, this is true, yeah. Well, that is incredible stuff. Since you're having so many people there, you might be able to invite me along.
Oh yeah.
It's
more the merrier.
Sitting out in the sun eating lobster and crab and big juicy cuts of meat.
Yeah.
Amazing. So that's it, Claire. That's been great. I thoroughly enjoyed chatting to you. I'm going to be thinking about cheese for the night now. Trying to think. I think I do have a little bit of brie at home that I might tuck into when I get back. I've no port though. So just a reminder, everybody, Claire's Instagram page is A Moment in Thyme. That's a.moment.in.thyme. THYME. And her website is amomentintime.ie. She's also on Twitter and Facebook and all the other usual places. But as a photographer, her Instagram is the place to go. And you should definitely go and follow her just to drool over her amazing images. And if you're a food provider looking to up your game and promote your product, just go and visit her and you'll see what she can do and what she can do for you. She's great. Thanks to you, the listener, for staying with us till the end. If you like what you've heard, you can subscribe and go through the back catalogue. We're everywhere you get your podcast, and we're also on YouTube as well. We're on all the usual social media platforms. Just search for The Chopping Block. We're the little chopping board with the steaks on them in the shape of a love heart. And if you'd like to try Claire's food, so we have her pickle, her basil mayonnaise. We have her, how do you pronounce it?
Furkake.
Furkake. That's going to be a fun one. And we have...
the butter.
Oh, yes.
Miso butter.
The miso butter. They're going to be, hopefully they'll work. So yeah, if you do decide to make any one of the 4, stick it up on your highlights, tag us in it, or take a photo of it and tag it wherever you are, and we'll share it. And Claire can have a look at it and judge your photography. That's all for me. Thanks again, Claire. That was great.
Love this.
Yeah, it was really enjoyable. And to you, the listeners, farewell, stay safe, and we'll chat to you next time on The Chopping Block.